All right, you guys, this is the overtime segment. So this is exclusive content. So for those of you that are coming from the podcast, audio only version, welcome to YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, check it out podcast, hit the like bell as well, and leave a comment for your boy. But in this overtime segment, again, this is a new segment I'm adding to the podcast. Exclusive content only on YouTube. Eagles versus Washington. Oh man, where the hell do I start? I knew that this game was going to be tough. Washington always plays us tough. Even though the Eagles have beat Washington the last 6 games, I did not take this game for granted. Whenever the Eagles open up with Washington, I always state that this is going to be a measuring stick for the Philadelphia Eagles because they play us tough every time, and it makes no sense. That is the team that gives us like the worst matchup problems out of all the teams in the division. It's always the Washington football team that gives us these issues. And their defensive line is ridiculous, man. The Eagles went ahead, started the game off 17-0. So I'm looking at the game and I'm just like, okay, they look good. They go down the field, score. They go up 17-0, right? Make it look easy. I'm like, cool. But I was not like, oh, this game's in the back. That never crossed my mind. I never looked at it like, oh, well, this game's in the bag. We got this. I was like, okay, this game's going to be closer than what it is right now. That was going through my head. I was like, okay, I know that this game's going to be closer, but are they able to weather a storm? And clearly they were not, man. I don't know what the hell happened. Let me start with the positives. So Dallas Goddard looked good, right? Dallas Goddard looks like he's ready to take that next step. He looks like he's ready to take over for what Zach Ertz role. Unfortunately, Zach Ertz, I love Zach Ertz, and I would love to keep him in an Eagles jersey, but there's some contract disputes there. It looks like it's boiling over to the field. It looks like Zach Ertz is not happy right now, and honestly, I don't know what to do with him. So Dallas Goddard looks great, man. The offense went through Dallas Goddard as far as passing plays, is very successful going towards Dallas Goddard. He's better after the run. Had a great touchdown catch from Carson Wentz, probably Carson Wentz's best throw all game. But you could tell that they made a concerted effort to make sure that Dallas Goddard was getting the ball instead of Zach Ertz. Now, Zach Ertz did have a bad drop, but I'm trying to stay positive. The defensive backfield. So the defensive backs has always been a weakness for the Eagles. And, now we got big play Slay, Rodney McLeod's back. Avonte Maddox is back there on the other side, opposite big play Slay. I mean, honestly, the defensive backfield did fairly well for the game. The defense should not be at all to blame for the debacle that happened in Washington, because the offense was not the offense was not sustaining drives after the 17-0. Carson Wentz was throwing horrible turnovers. And again, I'm trying to stay positive, but the defensive backfield did solid. All right. They did solid. They gave up, at the end of the game, they were just probably broken. But again, for the most part, I think the defensive backs had a fairly good game. No big plays, which I'm happy to see down the field. So again, defensive backfield looked good. And then lastly, Jaylen Reagar. Now, he only had 1 catch, so I don't know. I know a lot of people are going to push back on this, but Jaylen Reagar did exactly what I thought he would do, and it is as advertised. He's a speedster. He's very athletic. He has the tools to be a good route runner, and obviously, he'll continue to develop. But had a great 55-yard catch, running right by Ronald Darby, former Eagle, and then also had another pretty good route. I thought it looked like a double move. Carson Wentz overthrew that one, but Jaylen Reagar was wide open. That one would have been a touchdown. Jaylen Reagar, again, as advertised, pretty much what I expected from Jaylen Reagar is what we have right now, and what I've seen in the first game. So I'm pretty happy about that. And for those of you that don't know, I actually like Jaylen Reagar. I did not mind having him for the Eagles. So you could go back and check the tape because it's there. Obviously, I want a CeeDee Lamb, and that video is blown up. I'll leave it up here in the corner. My reaction to both draft picks because again, Jaylen Reagar could play. I was not down on Jaylen Reagar. I know he had a drop issue in college, but I think that he is a great fit for the Eagles, and I think he's a pretty good receiver. I did want him over Justin Jefferson, and I was pretty vocal about that. So Jaylen Reagar, again, not the biggest positive, but I think it's positive to see that he can make plays. Like the speed is there. So he will be a dynamite player. Negatives, I don't know where to start. I mean, going back to Jaylen Reagar, that drop punt, I mean, come on, man. You gotta do better with the punt return, or like if you're gonna be standing there on punt return, you need to be doing better fielding the punts, because as an Eagles fan, we're not, there's been several games that we've lost because of the punt returner has not been able to field the damn punt. So he needs to clean that up. Carson Wentz, 2 interceptions, both of them horrible picks. Probably should have ended up with anywhere from 4 to 5 picks, but a few of them were dropped. Had 2 fumbles, one of them was lost. Doug Peterson, I mean, I don't know where to start, man. It's really bad. I think that everyone knew that going into this game, the Washington football team, their defensive line was the strength of the defense, strength of the team. All of them are first-round picks. So we knew that was going to be the strength of their team. The Eagles' weakness on offense is the offensive line because of injury. So Doug Peterson knew this going into the game. If he didn't know it, he needs to be fired. It's honestly weird to see why they were trying to have all of these long developing plays happen, knowing that the offensive line could not hold up. A lot of them some of them were long developing plays that got blown up because of pass protection, or Carson Wentz holding onto the ball too long, then, getting stripped or, throwing a pick or whatever. I don't know what the hell is going on. He was holding on to the ball too long, or the play just wasn't there. Like, it was a long developing play where you don't have an offensive line. You can't do that. Carson Wentz needs to get rid of the ball. He needs to have hot routes. He needs to have some check down. He needs to have some check downs. And honestly, I don't see them on TV. And hopefully, I'm sure Doug Peterson, at least I hope Doug Peterson is putting something together as far as check downs, because every time I watch a Saints game, they got guys going deep. Well, I mean, even if guys are going deep, I'm not going to say every time, they're going deep, but if they have guys going deep, they also have check downs, because that play is not always going to be there. Long developing plays, you don't always have time for those long developing plays, especially on, this fool over here, Doug Peterson, running play action, and they're not running the ball that much. They're not biting on the run because you're not running that much. You don't have Miles Sanders. You're not dedicated to the run. So when you do play action, they're pass rushing. Like, they know to get upfield. They're already pinning their ears back. Doug Peterson is too predictable. In his press conference, he's talking about, they're like, hey, well, do you keep track of, run and pass plays? And, do you want to have a more balanced offense? And his answer was something like, oh, I don't keep track of what plays I call. I just know that if I call a play, it needs to be executed. No. You need to keep track of that, because you need to have a balanced offense. But this is nothing new, man. We've seen this from Doug Peterson every year that he's been there. He got lucky with the Super Bowl. Let's keep that a buck. He got lucky with the Super Bowl. And Frank Wright really won the Super Bowl for the Eagles. I mean, the offense has never been the same since he's left. Nick Foles, obviously, the year after, was able to kind of lead them to the playoffs and play some good football in a win over the Bears, and almost won over the Saints, but Alshon dropped that damn pass. Man, that one was pretty bad. But Doug Peterson shows that he cannot adjust in game. This is typical Andy Reid, well, former Andy Reid, because Andy Reid looked like he could adjust now. But that's like Andy Reid's school of thought. Like, that's what Andy Reid used to do. Like, he couldn't adjust in game. Clearly, he's figured it out since then. But man, I don't know. Doug Peterson, he has no OC. This guy is so arrogant. He doesn't take blame for anything. It's good. It's probably gonna be a long season, you guys. It's gonna be a long season. This week we got the Rams. Now I don't anticipate us to get blown out by the Rams. We usually play the Rams tough, and we usually actually beat the Rams most of the times. But this one, I don't know. Hopefully they come in with a fire under their belly. I know that they're saying that Lane Johnson and Miles Sanders are on track to play. So that is good news. That's great news. This one will be a competitive game. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles won this game, but I'm still I'm very bearish on the season. So it's not looking good, you guys. It's not looking good. I don't know what the hell's going on. Wentz, this is last year with me. Wentz has to prove that he is the guy this year, and if it's not this year, then they need to move on. They just gave him a contract extension, but there's no more excuses for Wentz. I'm sorry, there's no more excuses. He got weapons. Offensive line is not there, but I mean, I don't care. You're getting paid money to overcome certain weaknesses, and after that MVP season, he has not played the same. I think the year after he did play fairly solid and put up some identical numbers, but he's not looking like that. I mean, last year, decent. End of the year, I don't know. I'm honestly just speechless at how they completely blew. Like, if they lost by a field goal, okay, I could live with that. I mean, I'll still be pissed, but I could live with that. But they let Washington score 27 unanswered points. They let them score 27 unanswered points. And that sounds like I'm blaming the defense. I'm really blaming the offense, because the offense didn't score, and they were putting the defense in bad positions. Doug Peterson, what the hell is going on? I'm sick of him. He needs to go. Howie Roseman needs to go. JJ Arcega-Whiteside, how could I forget him? I'm not going to let him off the hook either. 28 snaps, 0 targets. 0 targets, 0, obviously we have 0 targets. You got 0 receptions, 0 yards, 0 touchdowns. You can't even drop the damn ball because you ain't even getting targeted. All I hear about from JJ Arcega-Whiteside is that he had a great camp. And this is the second year in a row he had a great camp. I don't want to hear that shit no more, man. I'll be honest. I don't want to hear that anymore. JJ Arcega-Whiteside, I think he needs to be removed immediately. I'll take Michael Johnson on the practice squad instead of him. Meanwhile, DK Metcalf is over here in Seattle having 95 yards receiving with 1 touchdown against Atlanta. And I'll be honest, I was not a big DK Metcalf fan coming out of the draft. But in the second, I said in my podcast, I believe I put this in the podcast, I'm not drafting DK Metcalf in the first round. There's way too many unknowns with him. So that's understandable. But in the second round, at the end of the second round, you rather draft Arcega-Whiteside instead of Metcalf. That is where I draw the line. I would have took Metcalf. If I was forced to choose a receiver, it easily would have been Metcalf over Arcega-Whiteside. Now, Arcega-Whiteside had a solid college career at Stanford, but after watching his tape, there was way too many 50-50 balls. He was getting 0 separation. This is one of the reasons why I did not want to draft him when I seen his tape. And I seen people talking about it. I was like, hey, if you watch his highlight tape, 0 separation. You can't have your whole highlight tape is 50-50 balls, and you can't make a living off of that in the NFL because these corners are too good. They're not going to let you just catch 50-50 balls like you were in college. Like, these ain't Pac-12 corners. So I don't know who made this decision. I don't know who rated Arcega-Whiteside in front of DK Metcalf, but that person's name needs to be public. We need to know who the hell was able to put these rankings together. Obviously, Howie Roseman signed off on it, and he's still so arrogant that he will not admit that he was wrong. It's going to be bad, you guys. It's going to be bad. I think, and honestly, I like Arcega-Whiteside as a person. Don't get this confused with I hate him. I just don't like him as a football player. He's not good. And again, hopefully I'm wrong. I really do want to be wrong. I hope that he's really good and can score some touchdowns for my Eagles like he was at Stanford, but I just don't see it, man. I just don't see it. And It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I don't even know where to. I don't even know where to go. It's not a good start to the season, you guys. It's not good. It's not good. And as we continue to go through this, all of my overtime segments will not be Eagles takes, but there will definitely be a few Eagles takes for sure based on what I see in week 1. But we're going to have some random talks about here. Just going to be me ranting on something crazy that I want to talk about. But no, I appreciate all of you for tuning in to the overtime segment. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button as well. Leave a comment. I want to hear your take on the Eagles. If you think they're trash, go ahead and put it in the comment section. I'll go ahead and like it. If you put, I didn't say any comment I'll like. If you put the Eagles are trash, I'll like it just because they lost. All right, just because they lost. Because they are trash. You see, right over my shoulder, it's Eagles 0-1 with the sad face in there. It's not a good week to be an Eagles fan, but I'm glad that the Cowboys lost as well, in devastating fashion. So, man, it's not good. But make sure you hit that subscribe button and the like button. Leave a comment with your boy Chuck It Up. But I appreciate you. Tune in for next week when we do the next Chuck It Up podcast. But all right, you guys, I'm out of here. Thanks again. I'll catch you next time. Peace.